Sure. I actually felt, at a certain point, I just felt like I cannot be a part of this. Every day you go to work, every time you spend money, there's a contribution that you're making. And half of that federal tax money is going to war, whether it's current federal spending on the war efforts or paying off deficit spending that we owe to the military. And for me, it was just a time when I couldn't do it any longer. I couldn't be a part of that. So I basically chained myself to a bench, just put a handcuff on my wrist and wrapped the other side around a bench and said, I'm not going to move from this space. It was in Oakland, California, right near the Grand Lake Theater, right near Lake Merritt. Hello to all my Oakland people. And I stayed there for 5 days. I fasted. I did a juice fast. And we did a press release, and it ended up getting a lot of press and was an incredible experience. I mean, the amount of support. I had mothers of children in the war come out, parents of soldiers come out to support me, students come and ask me questions. I mean, endless people were coming to show their support for this and stay there. People stayed the night with me. Musicians came down to support and play. I had a lot of conversations on air with the local radio stations, a few national radio and TV things. And this was about what is our priority. I mean, here Bush is going to a war that some said was illegal. And, you know, we still don't know why we actually went to war there. There's no actual justification that's been made for why we went to war in Iraq, even to this day. And back in 2006, it was just so clear to me that ethically I can't stand by and do this, and that here I am teaching children, and I'm seeing the lack of support that they're getting. And I'm hearing about, you know, kids who are in situations where their families are, you know, being subject to a lot of violence. You know, there's people dying in our urban cities. There's people who are hungry. You know, I had kids coming to school who are hungry. And you can blame the parents if you like, but we have to look at what are the situations that are setting these parents up. So when I did that, I found it was an amazingly positive experience. And I think people in this, I mean, the United States has an incredible history of civil rights movements, of organizing, of people standing up for their rights, using the freedom of speech to say what they feel is right. And Bush was voted in with less than, I think, 30% of the population. And it's a question of, at some point, people are going to have to start making some very serious decisions that the problems that we're seeing every day are actually things that we can change. And if we want to make the decision to see them change, I believe that they will. And in fact, historically, that's what's happened in this country and in other countries.
Wonderful. And I mean, your experiences that you've had in life, you know, whether they're positive or negative, you're a musician, so that impacts your music and your songs.
Sure.
And another experience before we run out of time that I want to touch base on is when you went to Poland and had, I think it was a concert there. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me about that experience?
Yeah, they did an event in Poland called Memory and Tolerance. And it was basically what happened is people were doing research on a grave site, a Jewish grave site that was in this town called Chełmno in northern Poland. And they wanted to do this event, and they brought together the Czech government, the Polish government, the British government, the Israeli government, the German government, and I think that's it. And they had this huge, like, weekend event. And they somehow found me online. I think the song Change to Come, which I had sung the other day. And they found me through that, and they wanted like a Jewish rock star. So they basically asked me to come, and they flew me and two bandmates out there. And we played to like 10,000 people, and you know, we had the whole crowd, you know, singing "Let Out a Little Peace, Let Out a Little Peace," and they're singing the HYIM, you know. And I had actually gone to Auschwitz years ago, which is in Poland, and I had seen sort of what had happened there. And to be there and a part of this and to have people cheering my name, HYIM, which means life in Hebrew, was an incredible, incredible experience. And they unveiled a plaque that demarcated this gravesite that is no longer there, but is now there, and now this plaque is there, and I mean, it was amazing. They had, you know, men in armor, like old school, like stuff, and all these, I met like a Duke and Duchess, and it was very cool.
It's wonderful. I mean, you've had a very interesting life, and I wish we had more time to talk about the things that you've done. Yeah. But if you throw your contact information up for viewers, they can research you and read your bio.
Yes. You can Google my name, HYIM, or you can find my website at HYIMVIBE.com. And yeah, you can find my email on there. Please be in touch. Absolutely.
Wonderful. Thank you. So nice meeting you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And we're going to have more for everyone after the break.